Right
sir.
now, I'm not in Arnold's way. Actually, Matt's the perfect person to do an interview with because he laughs every time I say something. And actually, worth the moment. Why don't you explain what you're doing, where you're at? Then.
Okay.
I don't want to talk.
Yeah, we're at the new project. We're trying to create a community permaculture center. The story is that this used to be an organic hydroponics setup, and it was having a lot of issues. So they called me out to see if I could help. And
we never had a big time issues. What was happening is after 6 months, the seedling was only this big.
Yeah, it was stunted. They couldn't get anything to grow. The nutrient balance was off.
Yeah.
But hydroponics isn't my game. You know, you have to be in the soil. It has to be an ecosystem because hydroponics is just a sterile, isolated system. It's like trying to live in space. So we talked about permaculture, and after a while, long story short, I convinced them to turn the whole thing into a permaculture center. So what we actually did was we took out all these crazy hydroponic towers, and then we just brought in, you know, like 800 to 1,000, 800 to 1,200, something like that, straw bales.
That's right there.
Yeah, so these are from right down the road.
You had to lift each one.
Yeah, well, we had to lift them off the truck and put them outside and soak them.
That's 100 pounds.
And then, well, they were 50 off the truck, and then we soaked them for a few days, and then we brought them. They were 100 pounds, and we brought them in here.
Right.
From a guy right down the road. He doesn't spray, doesn't do anything. Because this greenhouse is actually certified organic.
Yeah, explain how the whole system works. You got the bale. You got the.
It's super simple. It is what it looks like. We bring the bales in. We throw some nitrogen on top in the form of dehydrated chicken poop.
Right.
And then we let them sit outside in the rain.
Put chicken poop on this.
Right when we first get them, we do when they're outside. So then we throw them down, and then we let them sit in the rain for days, and they start to break down. They start to activate. And when they're activated, and conditioned, we bring them inside, and we get some compost from right down the road. And so it's certified compost, and we throw the compost down on top of the bales, about 1.5 to 2 inches deep. And then we just plant in the soil, and the soil actually insulates and incubates and germinates the seeds. But then when the seed roots come through, the roots actually go into the straw, and they feed on the straw, and they soak water from the straw. So you have a self-watering.
That's better than the soil then.
Yeah. Well, it's better than soil because it doesn't deplete as quickly, and you don't have to keep adding nutrients into the soil. For a normal system, if you had all soil, for instance, like a square foot garden or a raised bed, you'd have to keep throwing food into the dirt because the dirt would keep getting used. With this, it's creating its own nutrients as it breaks down, so it's a self-feeding system. It's also somewhat self-watering because it holds so much water, because the straw holds water. So it's a really great thing to have indoors.
I mean, do you recommend anybody like myself to have bales of hay rather than dirt?
Absolutely, it's an easier system. Now this is the first phase. If you were to do it at your house, what I would do is I'd put manure and cardboard under it, and then once it broke down the first season, it would kind of turn itself into a sheet mulch bed. You cover it with mulch and let it break down all the way. So it's this is the fastest, easiest, most efficient way to do a permaculture garden at your house. And then as it breaks down, it will evolve into a new kind of a bed, but you don't need any new materials or anything. It's just how the process breaks down. It's a very natural process.
I understood it, didn't sink in.
So we're going to plant seeds today. We're going to sow the seeds today. And a lot of our crops.
Just go like that?
Well, it'll be a little bit more precise, depending on what it is. Lettuce and stuff, you kind of just sprinkle around because you have to thin it out anyway.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like broccoli, and I'm going to direct seed some of the broccoli. I'm going to put some of it into trays. But for instance, something like that, you'd be more precise because you have to have the spacing right. You don't want to. Seeds can be expensive, especially using this much. Right. So you want to make sure you're not wasting them.
Right.
But you have to plan that you're not going to have 100% germination rate. So you want to just kind of put down a little bit more, maybe 3 seeds in one space, and then if more than one comes up, you just thin them out.
Now this is all year round?
Yeah, this will work all year round. Now this is going to get really hot in the summertime, so we'd move it outside. The only thing is...
You got to move everyone outside?
No, the operation. We'll keep some of the stuff inside. See, when this straw breaks down, it's going to become mulch for the next outside bed. So this is basically just a staging area, a storage area for this straw. Because it's going to be able to use... We're going to be able to use it several times to grow crops, but once it's spent and it starts to break down, it's going to all go outside and create several very large no-till permaculture beds outside.
I mean, this will break down?
Yeah, this will completely break down into soil. Well, if you had it outside and it was summertime, it'd break down in about 6 months. If you have it inside and it's cooler, It'll break down. Could be closer to 8 months or whatever. It's no telling really, because you don't know how dense these bales are, and how fast they'll activate. Depends on what kind of plants are in here too. Like some of these are gonna have carrots in them, so they're gonna really tear up the bales as they go down there.
Right.
Some of them are gonna be surface planted, like lettuces and stuff, so those bales are not gonna be as broken down. But all this is. It's a process of recycling, because all this straw is gonna go outside and become no-till beds. It's gonna become dirt basically. This is basically dirt in progress, soil in progress. So this is all gonna be used again and again and again. And
So once it breaks down, you put the hay outside?
Yeah, we're gonna make beds. Oh, that whole 10 acres in the back is gonna become a permaculture garden, like a food forest. So it's all gonna be. This is all soil in waiting for the food forest, and so basically we're just bringing. It's almost like if you're bringing in material. Say you're bringing in a bunch of bricks to build a house. You just have the bricks sitting around. They'd be doing nothing until you built the house. Well, we're bringing in these materials to build a food forest, and while we're storing them and waiting for them, we're using them to grow, hundreds of pounds of food. And that's this.
This will yield 100 pounds of food?
I don't know. It's an arbitrary number, but it's going to be a lot. I mean, we have this greenhouse, the greenhouse over there. We have these 11 bale sections. We have about 111 bale sections, and there's going to be 11 crops in each section. So it's going to be quite a bit of food, and we're going to open up to the community for U-picks, and we're going to bring people up to learn and stuff like that. And so that's what we're doing here. Julie and I are now we're temporarily staying in the shed. Last night it got down to the 20s, so it's cold. It was really cold. Today I'm hoping to get I have an impromptu thermal mass stove I'm building. I'm going to put in there, so it'll be a little warmer. But our goal is to get the money together to get that yurt up.
For the weed the tree. So if you hear this,
yeah,
you like to weed the tree.
Yeah, so weed the trees. We can go. You can donate there, and we can get that yurt set up so that we can have a comfortable place to live while we're doing this. Because we didn't really have this planned. It was just something that the community needed. It was a vacuum that had to be filled. We could do it. We came to fill it, and we didn't want to wait until we did that.
This guy's a serious guy. Serious.
I look serious.
He looks serious.
Explain
one more. I don't know. For those people who don't have these greenhouses, explain one more time how you do it in your backyard.
Yeah, you don't need the greenhouse. See, I mean, this is because the greenhouse is already here. It was hydroponics setup, so we're just using what's already here. That's that's the number one permaculture principle. It's you use what you have.
Right.
But if you do this in your yard, I mean, a really easy thing you can do is if anybody's ever built a hoop house, you can build them with PVC. It's just really you're just building some sort of a structure that can hold some sort of a plastic or whatever to keep a microclimate. So you could have bales. You could have just one section of these bales lined up. You put some sort of a recycled PVC tubing, find some salvaged plastic, greenhouse plastic, build a little mini hoop, and you can cover it up with the plastic, and you have a little microclimate. You're not really looking for a greenhouse like that you'd heat or something where you're going to try to grow tomatoes in January. All you're really needing is so the soil doesn't frost, so you don't freeze the soil and lose the roots. But the other good thing about this kind of gardening is it's going to create a microclimate in and of itself. Because as this breaks down, anything that's breaking down generates a lot of heat. So as this is all breaking down from underneath, it's going to warm the soil from within, and that's going to give you an extended season anyway. If you want to keep that season going even longer, you can even put these inside your house. You put down a tarp and put something like this inside your house if you have enough south-facing exposure. But just to create a little miniature hoop house over here, it'd be like nothing. You can find all the materials on Craigslist, and you can build it for nothing. You can find the straw at a local farm for a couple bucks a bale. Get the compost. I mean, compost is this quality compost, which is high quality, certified compost, is only $25 a cubic yard. I mean, and this is probably like just a wheelbarrow full for just these 11 sections, and that's probably 3 cubic feet. So you have a lot to do with very little money. And as you keep doing this, if you have a straw bale garden in your yard, that's all going to become soil eventually, and it's going to keep being reusable, recyclable. So
this will be, you're going to plant seeds the next day or so?
Today we're going to do some,
and then next, how long before it starts
Some of the seeds will germinate within 6 days, some will germinate within 2 weeks.
So if we come here within 2 weeks, it should be a nice...
Yeah, you'll see a lot of
That's the goal.
A lot of babies. And then in 30 days we'll be harvesting lettuce and things, and 60 days we'll be harvesting cabbages and broccolis and radishes and stuff. Radishes about 30 days, so... A lot of the food will be ready within a month, and a lot of it will be ready and all of it will be ready within two and a half months. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Then we'll just keep rotating.
When you got here, it was nothing. It was dying.
Yeah, it looked funny. It was just like all these robotic towers and pipes
with
and all
not
kinds
with
of
this.
stuff. Yeah.
After 6 months,
Yeah.
it was not working.
Yeah. So
Anyway, once again, why don't you say one more time so people, if anybody's interested,
well,
weed the trees.
Right. Get to help us jumpstart.
Actually, we're at 600, 700.
Well, on the computer we're about 550, but we have money that we were donated, so we have to send up there. So altogether, we probably got around 650, something like that. And we have 21 days to make up to the 3,000.
Okay, now I have the water tower and
the juicer.
Yeah, so we're gonna buy that. Get something in return. Water tower is $300.
Yeah, and there's rewards and stuff on the site. You can go and you donate,
good.
and we'll send you seed packets that were native seeds that we've planted already, and you know, there's ebooks that we have. So
can't
go
have
on
shares
there.
of that.
What's that?
You can't have shares of this place.
Well, we will eventually maybe to do a CSA would be nice.
Not good.
But all these things are things that we're going to think about as we start to as it starts to become more. I mean, because it's easy to talk about this stuff. We have to see how it works out logistically, how much yield we get, and it's ultimately going to be a learning center because it's more important to teach people how to do this stuff than to try to provide it for them.
That's really what needed. People have to really be responsible for their own food.
Yeah, it's the next step
after
nutrition. After you get into nutrition, raw food, vegan, all
you
that
have
kind
to
of
how to
stuff,
grow it.
you have to learn how to grow it because it's not going to help anybody if you don't.
That's right. So it's in your house, if possible, you have a one room set aside.
Yeah, you can put these in your house.
You hear that? People with big houses, a big house, empty room. We now know what to do with it.
Yeah,
that's possible.
Yeah,
that's funny. Any promoter? You have to say anything?
Not even bother.
Anyway, this is live from Matt, Nature's Pilgrim. Weed a tree. Donate if you can. This is the new precedent for what the world has to become like. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.